How did you get on?
Very well. I'm now a member of the board with a ringing endorsement from Miss Barton herself.
Mrs. Morris made no trouble?
I wouldn't quite say that. But Mrs. Fane, Miss Barton, and Miss Brooke all ganged up against her.
Not Miss Brooke. That's nice. They know what caused the crash. One of the axles broke.
How could that be?
It was substandard. All of the axles on the engine were substandard. Someone in my organization used old and damaged axles on the engine, stealing my money as he did so, and killing 5 men in the process.
We must try and control the damage.
Well, the company's taken a bit of a dent, but we seem to be climbing back.
No, I meant the damage to us, you and me. Can you manage the papers?
Within limits. Unless it goes to trial.
Because I heard today that Mr. McAllister wants to come here for luncheon. What do you think of that?
Well, if you're asking, I think the fact that 5 men are dead and a member of my staff has blood on his hands is a little more important than whether or not the great Ward McAllister comes here for luncheon.
It matters, George. I've worked for this, and it matters to me, even if it doesn't to you.
Well, you're right there. I don't give a rat's ass when Mr. McAllister breaks his bread. I'm sorry.
I know what I want, and he can help me to get it. By the way, he's written to her, Mr. Baldwin.
You still open Gladys's letters?
Always.
Well, give it to her now.
He's accepted the situation, but he writes a little too well.
Then I'll give it to her.
If you go soft on me now, George, we could lose everything we've worked for.
Whom am I going soft about? The dead in the train wreck or your only daughter?
Just, please don't be soft.
No one could accuse you of that.
But what's he done wrong?
Your mother thinks you're too young for an engagement, that's all.
But it isn't all. If she said we had to wait a year or something, I'd accept it, but she hasn't.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Don't pretend. You're the one who set out the conditions.
Why do you say that?
Your father has asked for my word that we will not meet again. Or if we do that, we shall not attempt to speak in any private manner.
Your mother thinks it best.
You're one of the most successful men in the country. With real estate and steel and copper and coal and oil and railroads are the envy of the world, and you can't stand up to your wife? I suppose you bought him off. And if he took it, he wasn't worthy of me. That's what Mother will say.
Don't be too hard on the boy. I made it tough for him to refuse.
I just wish I knew the reason.
Because your mother believes that you have more to come than marriage to a banker in Manhattan.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, but it's not special.
Father, I'm not special. Why can't she see it? I'm ordinary. I'm just an ordinary person who wants an ordinary life.
No, my darling. You are not in the least ordinary. On that point, your mother and I are as one.